Hello, this is Keenan Park, and this is YLOC 4th grade worksheet lesson 28. For our first section, we have equivalent fractions. So we're going to create three fractions that are equivalent to the given fraction. So that means we're going to create three fractions that are the same value. So 1/5. So the way we create equivalent fractions is we multiply the top and the bottom by the same number. So here we can multiply by 2. And 1 times 2 is 2. And then the bottom is 5 times 2, which is 10. So 1/5 equals 2/10. So it's an equivalent fraction. We could change this 2 to a 3. So 1 times 3 and 5 times 3. And that would give us 3 over 15. Or we could go for literally any number. If we do 4, then we'll get 4 over 20. I'm just going to do the simplest, the smallest numbers for now. But if you feel like doing any number, you're free to do so. Let's move on. 4/3. We can multiply the top and bottom by 2, by 3, or by 4. So that will give us 8/6, 12/9, or 16/12. 7/11. We can multiply just like before by 2, 3, or 4. So that'll give us 14 over 22, or 21 over 33, or 28 over 44. 1/2, we can get 2/4, 3/6, or 4/8. For 2/3, you can get 4/6, 6/9, and 8/12. For 4/7, we can get 8/14, or we can get 12/21, or we can get 16 over 28. 3/6 is actually a special one because we actually saw it earlier. It's the same as 1/2. So one of the equivalent fractions is also 1/2, and then it has the same equivalent fractions as 1/2. So that means 2/4, and then, well, we can't do 3/6 again, but we can skip 2/4. And then for 10/9, we'll have 20 over 18, or 30 over 27, or 40 over 36. And then for our next section, we have comparing fractions. So we're going to see which fraction is larger, or if they're the same, we're going to use an equal sign. So 2/10 and 2/8. So one strategy we can use here is that they both have the same numerator. So a bigger numerator means that it's a bigger fraction in general. But since they have the same numerator, we look to the denominator to compare. A bigger denominator makes a fraction smaller because it's being divided more. So here we see the 10 is larger than the 8. So that means this fraction is smaller. 2/10 is smaller than 2/8. So we can use the less than symbol. For this next one, we can try a different tactic. We could try simplification. So we realize that 6/4, we can divide top and bottom by 2 to simplify this fraction. So to simplify 6/4, we can get 3 over 2. And we can do the same thing for 9/6. If we do 9 over 6, but then we divide by 3 on the top and the bottom, then you get 3 over 2. And you'll notice that these are actually the exact same. So you can say that they're equal. For 7/10 and 3 over 2, it's a little hard to use any of these other methods, so we can try cross multiplication. So that's where we have 7/10 and then 3 over 2 divided by 2. And then we have our mystery symbol in the center. And so we can treat this like an equation where we multiply. So we can multiply both sides by 2 and both sides by 10 to cancel out these denominators. So 7 times 2 is 14, and then 3 times 10 is 30. And it's very clear that 30 is greater than 14. And what's cool about using this method is that this sign is the same as this sign, and it's the same as this sign. So 7/10 is less than 3/2. Let's move down. 1/9 and 5/10. We can convert 5/10 to 1/2. And using what we learned before, the one with the larger denominator is smaller, so it's once again less than. Here for 12/9, we could try simplifying it. It will give us 4/3, but then there's still not anything the same, so we'll have to resort to cross multiplication. So 4/3 and 7/2. Multiply the top and the bottom. For this side, 4 and 2 gives us 8, and then 7 and 3 gives us 21. 7/2, but this 21 is clearly larger, so it's once again less than. For the next problem, we have 8/7 and 6/4. We'll once again cross multiply. We get 32 and 42, so it's once again less than. Next, we have 7/7 and 15/9. So 7/7 is equal to 1. And 15/9, well, 15 is greater than 9, isn't it? So we know that this is greater than 1. And since this is 1, we know that it's less than. And then for this last one, we can do this cool thing. We have 1/4 and 3/6. But 3/6 is an equivalent fraction of 1/2. And 1/2 is another equivalent fraction to 2/4. So we've converted it to something that has the same denominator, which allows us to compare more easily. You can see this one has a greater numerator, which means it's a greater number. So we once again have less than. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching.